So I am going to, good, we're recording already. So I am going to share my screen and we will go from there. All right. Can you guys see that? Okay. So I just wanted to talk really quickly, and I'm going to do this kind of ghetto where you can see the stuff over here, because when I expand it all the way, then I feel like I can't really get out of screen share, and then it freaks me out. So, all right, we're just going to do it this way. So I just wanted to share some tips with you. They're kind of basics, I guess you could say, but then again, not really, because not everyone does these. And if they did, everyone would be wildly successful, because really this business isn't difficult. The actions aren't difficult. The difficult part is simply just being consistent with all of it. So I'm going to share these with you. Number 10, we've already talked about this so much, you guys, on our team page about not being icky, not being salesy, and we really want to set ourselves apart from other MLMs. We don't want to be posting sale prices on our social media. We don't want to be posting like stock images from corporate that you see a lot of your friends doing that are in other companies. I see a lot of my friends posting before and after pictures of people that they don't know, which from time to time, you know, I have done. I've taken the 21-day fix transformation and made a post about it, but 95% of the time I take before and afters from my challengers, and I say, this is one of the ladies that I specifically helped, and that has so much power and so much value. So use real stories, build relationships with your people, because people want to know that you truly care and that you aren't just out to make money, that you really want to change their life. You aren't possibly not going to have sales like right away doing it this way, but in the long run, if you keep it going, your momentum will allow you to hit Success Club every single month, because the conversations that you start in 1 month produce Success Club points and new challengers in the months ahead. So if you're constantly starting new conversations, you're always going to have people to invite to our groups. One of the biggest ways that I build relationships is free groups, and I'm going to be doing a really big training on this next month, because it's probably the biggest way that I find challengers to join my groups, is building relationships and giving free value in my free groups. And I will share everything that I do, because it's really not as difficult as I was making it. I've been hosting free groups since I started. Actually, I take that back. I was a really big skeptic of free groups because they are so much work, that I stopped doing them when I was first a coach, because in my first free group, nobody signed up. And I'm like, that was a lot of work for no gain. But what I didn't understand is that some people need to be in a free group like 6 times before they sign up with you. They need to build that trust. They need to understand that you truly just want what is best for them. So I will talk about that next month a lot for free groups, for our training. And if there's any questions, please unmute yourself and ask. Okay, don't reinvent the wheel. I don't want you to read this. I was going to delete all of that text over there because I have changed all of it. But just an example of a resource that I am willing to share on the team page. My downline has seen this document before, but I mainly follow the Vital process, which may change because of what the top coaches are saying about their businesses growing. But I sign everyone up as a customer, and then I convert them over to coaches. And this is the script that I use to copy paste from. Now, I don't always copy paste everything because it depends on the person, but like the numbers breakdown of how much Shakeology costs doesn't change. So I literally just copy paste that. And you know, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I would say every time. So I use this document, which again, I have changed. So I will screen capture my new one and share it on the team page. But it's a process that I use over and over again, and I really haven't changed the philosophy behind it since I started. And it's how I have grown my team to, you know, around 75 people, and I bring on 6 or 7 coaches a month. And I have a lot quit. I do, but that's with everybody. So I am constantly bringing new people in to the business, and some for the discount and some for hobby and some for business. So don't reinvent the wheel. Alina and I have so many resources for you on how to talk about things, how to talk about signing up for a challenge group. I have a script for that I created myself, that I use a lot to copy paste chunks from. And I'm more than willing to share that on the team page as well. So please don't reinvent the wheel. We have lots of resources to share with you over the weeks ahead. And we already have talked about this one. Number 8, successful coaches don't barf Beachbody. So they're not going to talk products. They're not going to talk, oh, I love my Shakeology. It has 70 superfoods. Yeah, it has superfoods, but take out the word Shakeology and just say, I love my superfoods. It's getting me through the day, because I was up with my little one 6 times last night, and I'm so thankful for an easy meal or an easy snack that I know is healthy for me, and it's not a bag of Doritos, you know? So talk about the lifestyle and what you do, but don't be a salesperson, because Beachbody spends millions of dollars on infomercials so that we don't have to. So please, please, please don't talk about the products. I have even shied away from talking about the workout names, and I just say my workout, because there are a lot of people on social media, like as soon as they see 21 Day Fix or they see Beachbody or they see Shakeology, they instantly don't want to follow you because they have a bad experience with a previous coach, and they think we're all the same. So you have to set yourself apart from that, so that you can connect with more people. Okay. And I can't see the chat right now. So, oh wait, I might be able to.
I was just saying that, yeah, people, if you say the name, they'll get on Amazon or, you know, somewhere else, they'll Google it and they're going to buy it somewhere else without ever having to connect with you as a coach.
Yes, exactly. So if you give them all the information and you don't leave any mystery to it, like Alina said, they will just put it into Google and they'll buy it on eBay or wherever they can find it the cheapest. They're not going to assume, or they're not going to take the risk of reaching out to you if they don't trust you. They're just going to be like, oh, she uses that and she looks that way, maybe I should do that. And they won't even reach out to you. So leave a little bit of mystery in what you're doing so that they have to message you and be like, what are you doing? Like, how are you able to build a business at home, like doing that, and you're not salesy at all? That would be the most amazing message ever to get. Like, what exactly do you do? Because I want to do what you're doing, because you don't make me feel icky. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Holy cow. That's what I'm going for every day in my posts. All right. Let me make sure I'm getting all my notes here. Okay. Be authentically you. I came across a quote a couple weeks ago that said, being authentic means you risk being very misunderstood. And then it said, take the risk. I could not agree with that more. And it's taken me 2 years and I'm still not there. I think it's going to be a lifelong journey of really discovering exactly who God made me to be, and just being okay with being her, being more than okay with being her, and not apologizing for it. So there are parts of me that I don't like that I'm trying to change, and that I eventually will, but parts of me that won't. Like, I'm learning that being an introvert doesn't have to be a negative thing. I am learning that just because I'm really, really crappy at small talk doesn't mean that I'm not a good friend and that I can't make new friends. I just need to find the people that also hate small talk. Like Alina, where the first time we meet, we're like, okay, what are your 5-year goals? Like, that like makes me excited and gets goosebumps all over my body. Like finding other people like you. Now you may not be like me, which is great because we all talk to our own tribe. But if you are authentically an extrovert, you attract other extroverts, which is going to make you so happy when you host your own team retreat and you're filled with a room of like all these happy, bubbly people. And me, I would just want to hide in the closet. Like I want to have a team retreat with like 10 people where we all talk about like deep stuff. So everyone is going to attract their own tribe. And the wonderful thing about Alina and I is we don't have the same tribe either. We have a lot of things in common, but we have a lot of things that aren't the same, which is the benefit to you guys because you're going to get different perspectives on like, okay, I like that and I'm going to adopt that. And I don't like that. That's not really my jam, but it works for her. So this team, we're just going to share. And Alina is going to be hosting her newbie groups 2 weeks differently than mine. And she has a completely different 3-week newbie group full of posts that she created. So if you hop into one of her groups, you're going to get an entire new set of resources that you can take and make your own and run your own group someday. So we're all about just being yourself and being okay with it. Okay, again, I said that. We need to be more than okay with being ourselves. Okay, we need to love it. We need to love who we are, which is the name of this team. But it's going to take personal development. So you need to be reading personal development that is speaking to wherever you are at right now. I have a whole stack of books right here, right by my laptop that have helped me at different phases of life. So if you are looking for suggestions, please type in the comments. And Alina is like, she's read 10 times more books than I have. So she's going to be an amazing resource if you are like, okay, I'm at this spot in my life. What book do I need? But between the two of us, I'm sure we could give you at least 2 suggestions to start with. So type those in the comments and then she can message back or put them on the team page and we can have a big discussion over that. Share your why. And don't tell people that you did your workout. Like you can tell them you did your workout, but tell them what feelings you had inside while you were doing your workout. Tell them that if it was really hard to press play, talk about that. Talk about why you do it. Don't just say, here's my sweaty selfie. Okay. We need to talk about the why behind it because that's what's going to draw people in. Because it's your story that is going to connect with people, not the workouts themselves. Let's see. Yeah, just work on figuring out who you are, which is what PD is going to help you do, personal development. And the more comfortable you are with who you are, the faster your business is going to grow, for sure, hands down. And I'm just gonna yes, Go Giver is amazing. Like I literally cried, and that's a business book. I cried reading that book. It is so good. Okay, I need to move on so that we have time for questions at the end. Okay, take risks often. Okay, we need to be really bold and courageous, and I am still learning with this, and I'm getting better and better at it with my social media of getting bold and overly excited about things. Because what I noticed when I looked at other successful coaches was that they didn't hold back at all. And they had a vision for where they were going, and they talked about it often on their social media. They talked about where their team was headed. They talked about where their life was going. They talked about how blessed they are because of this job. Even if you only make, $100 in a month, a lot of people want $100 extra in a month. So talk about that, okay? Talk about how it paid for your groceries or paid for all your gas. But just make everything exciting, which is a risk, okay? Because we want to kind of stay small and we want to blend in, but this job isn't about blending in. It's about standing out so that other people can come out from the weeds and realize that they can have a magnificent life as well if they choose to live it fully and take risks. I took a huge risk by stepping away from my full-time income when I wasn't making checks in my bank account to match that with Beachbody. And I'm still not, you guys. But I have a vision for where this is going. And I absolutely know that eventually it will. I know that in my core. I know that my tribe is out there. I know that there are leaders on this team that are going to take their business even further than mine. Once they finally take that risk to create that vision and live it out, like unashamedly live it. And it's really about just dreaming big and being willing to fail and learn from your mistakes. So often before I even think the whole idea through, I just jump and I try it and I figure it out. And sometimes it's an epic failure. Sometimes I have to stop halfway through an idea and realize, okay, this is not the direction I want to go, and redirect. But this business there's not like a cookie cutter way to do it. You get to create it as your own. You are the CEO. You get to design it. Alina and I are here to give you ideas and things that work for us, but what works for us may not work for you. So share ideas, but you have to take that initial risk and own your business. Yeah, I could go on and on forever with that, but I'm going to check my notes here. Oh, one last thing. Okay, this is actually kind of one of my pet peeves. So if anyone in my downline has done this, I'm calling you out right now, because one of my pet peeves is when coaches ask their upline permission to do something. Like, do you think it would be okay if I created a free group? Do you think it would be okay if I posted this? Like, I'm okay with proofreading something if you're going to be really vulnerable and share something and be like, could you just read through this and see if it sounds okay? That's one thing. But when coaches ask permission to do something with their business, I am not your boss. Like, you are the CEO. I'm the CEO of my business and I want to help you be successful, but I don't say what goes and doesn't go in your business. Okay? So take that risk. Have, like it says right here, have a vision. Figure out what your specific vision is for your team. What do you see your life like 2 years from now? Who's going to be on your team? What conversations are you going to be having? What kind of posts are you going to have? What things in your life are you going to be able to do because of this job? Are you going to be debt free? Are you going to be going on vacation? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What is your family saying? Are you going to have a family by then? Are you going to have kids that you don't have right now? You have to create that very vivid vision so that you have a really strong why and you won't give up. Because this business, like I said at the beginning, is not difficult. The hardest part is staying consistent over time. And if you keep that momentum, you will see success. It's not an if, it's not a wish. If you are doing these behaviors and you're doing the 4 vital behaviors and keeping in mind all 10 of these, it's not an if you will be successful. Okay, if you have a strong enough vision, you're going to be bold. You are going to take risks. You are going to be vulnerable. You are going to learn to be authentic, and you are going to change in the process. So this is not like a, hey, let's just start a business and help a few people. Like, this is changing your life. So buckle up. Like, it's going to change your life, but you have to be willing to do the scary things. All right. Which leads me to my next point. You have to show up. Like, show up every day. I have been coaching for almost 2 years. In 1 month, it will be my 2-year anniversary. And I kid you not, every single day since then, I have posted on my like page 2 times a day minimum. I haven't missed a day. Even on the days where super busy, even on the days where I'm having lots of anxiety, I show up because I need the people who follow me to realize that I am not half in, half out. I want them to know that if they follow me for a while, they're going to see me every day, which means that I'm going to show up for them every day if they reach out to me and ask for my help. That's important to me. That's important to my vision and my tribe. And just take a step back and look at your own business. Would you reach out to you? Would you be someone that is a good person to reach out to when you're feeling at your lowest low? Like, would you feel comfortable being that vulnerable and reaching out to possibly somebody you've never met in real life? I've had lots of people who I do not know in real life message me out of the blue and say, I've been following you for 9 months. All of them are over 6 months. I've been following you for 9 months, too scared to say anything, but your last post hit a chord in me, and I decided I'm ready. These people have never liked any of my stuff, never commented on any of my stuff, but they're watching and they're seeing that I show up every single day. There are a lot of coaches out there who don't post a lot, or they'll go a month without posting, and people are like, well, are they still a coach or not? Should I reach out to them? I wouldn't. And I don't say this to like make you feel guilty if you haven't been posting. You can start today. Start today. Draw a line in the sand and be like, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to start showing up on my social media. I'm going to start messaging people just to build relationships with them, see how they're doing, see what they're succeeding in. Do they have places where they're struggling? Like, show up. Just make the decision, okay? Because anyone can start over. It's hard. It's like pushing a car that's dead. It takes a lot of effort in the beginning to get it going, but once you get the car rolling, you don't need to push as hard, okay? But I'm still in the beginning stages of my business, same with Alina, same with everyone here. So we're still in the push really hard phase to get this car going. But you guys, it doesn't have to be like that for your whole life. It's a small sacrifice for maybe a year or two or a little more until you build a team strong enough underneath you where you can take your hands off the car a little bit, but you can't stop pushing or the car is going to eventually stop rolling. You always have to have momentum, and you never lose that momentum for anything. It is your golden ticket to rocking this business, okay? You have to show up. So what are you going to show up for? You're going to show up for these team calls. You're going to show up with your 4 vital behaviors. You're going to show up on the team page when we post trainings on there. You're going to ask questions. You're going to be engaged. You're going to show up in your social media like I talked about. You're going to show up for your own power hours. Alina and I are talking about that's one of our next things to roll out is do team-wide power hours, so you can see what we do when we have conversations with people and we all get on the computer at the same time and we work for 1 hour. And you know what? The biggest reason that you're going to want to show up is I kind of touched on it already, is that most people don't. So you're like, how can I set myself apart from all these Beachbody coaches? Which, by the way, there aren't that many Beachbody coaches right now. There's not a lot in the network. So you can set yourself apart by simply showing up every single day, regardless of the self-doubt, regardless of the worry that your neighbor thinks you're a complete crazy person. Those are the thoughts in my head. But I have to push past that. And if you can master the one rule right here, number 5, to show up every single day, I guarantee you that you will see a change in your business. Guaranteed. It's a simple decision, just like working out every day. It takes discipline. Okay, I need to get off of that soapbox. Okay, next one. Be here in a year. Actually, this should say be here in 2 years, because it should really say be here in 5 years. Because every single year you're going to see growth, whether it's financial, personal, physical, you're going to see growth. Like, this business adds value to your life. At least I hope it does. It does for me. It's the best job I've had. I loved high school teaching, and maybe I'll go back to it someday just for fun, but I plan on this job completely changing the financial situation of my family. I plan to be debt-free in 1 year. That's a really big, hairy, scary goal, and I just said it out loud. And we want to start saving for our dream home and build our dream home with a view off of the deck instead of seeing neighbors behind us. Like, we have big, big goals. And I know this job is going to allow us to do that. Teaching would have never allowed me to do that. I was all maxed out on all of my credits, my master's, and 30 plus beyond that, so that I could be all the way over on the pay scale. And I wasn't making what I knew I was worth. I wasn't. And so I'm going to be here many more than just 1 year. Okay, I'm almost here in for 2 years. And I have never been so excited, and this team has never been so on fire. From the conversations that Alina and I have had, both of our teams are way more active than they ever have been. And that we all help each other, whether we're on the same downline or not. Our excitement and momentum helps us stay motivated in our business. That's a positive for everybody. Okay. Sharing ideas is positive for everybody. Just the camaraderie and the community and being able to use that for a post idea is a positive. So plan to stick it out. Don't give up, because typically right before you really, really want to give up, that's usually when the biggest momentum happens. It's crazy, but it's so true, you guys. All right. Successful coaches hit Success Club, and they make it a non-negotiable because, hi, it's guaranteed income. That means you're making above and beyond your Shakeology. You are now bringing in money. You're helping other people. You are expanding your influence, and it's building your business. Okay. It's giving you people that you can now recognize for your fourth vital behavior of recognition. Okay. Talking about that they're showing up, and it's just a non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is 20 Success Club points. I'm not there yet this month, but I plan on it because I'm hosting a free group right now. And so I believe I'm at 16, and I know in my heart, like I absolutely know in my core, that I will be above 20. It is not even, I don't talk myself out of it. I don't say, oh, well, it's too close to the end of the month, I should just focus on finding people for July. No, I need to hit SC10 in my business center and SC10 in my husband's, because he is one of my coaches. Just has to happen. It has to happen because I need to pay for this trip to Mexico next year with those Success Club points. Okay, that's one big reason, but it's also because I love free leads. Who doesn't love free leads being dropped into your list, your customer list? Okay. It's a non-negotiable that I max out all of the benefits that they give in this business for hitting Success Club. So Success Club 10 in both is my minimum. You set your own minimum. I'm not telling you that you have to be at that level. You have to decide what your vision is for your business. And Alina and I are not going to look down on you if your minimum is Success Club 5. Okay. But if you want something in this business, you'll make Success Club it just has to happen. And you'll hit it early so that you're not scrambling at the end. I'm kind of scrambling. That was my bad. Normally I've locked in much earlier than this, but I'm not stressing out because I know every month it has happened. It is unbelievable how God totally has his hand in my business in every single area, because the months that I was close and I just surrendered it, and I'm like, okay, I was stressing out, but I'm trusting that one of these conversations is going to happen. It always happens, you guys. Always. It's crazy. Just trust it. But you have to believe it. You absolutely have to believe it. All right. Flying the nest. Okay, so while we all love you and we want you to be with us forever, eventually you have to become your own leader, and you have to be doing what Alina and I are doing. If you truly want to take this business somewhere, and if that freaks the crap out of you that you have to like be a leader, then that makes you a good leader. Because the leaders that aren't scared, those are bosses. Like, they're like, I love being in charge. Like, if you're terrified and pooping your pants because you're like, I could never lead a team, you're cut out for this. Because that's pretty much what Alina and I mean, we are good. We don't want you to lose all faith in us. I mean, we do have some of our ducks in a row, but we're figuring this out as we go too, you guys. And that is the beauty of this. Like, you can speak truth into your own destiny. Like, you have to look in the mirror and say, I am a leader because I'm simply brave enough to go first. That's it. You have to be brave enough to go first and to make mistakes and to admit that you make mistakes. That's what a leader is. Okay, it's not someone who knows all the answers. It's not somebody who dictates and micromanages what everyone does on their team. Alina and I work with the willing. We're not going to go searching out all of the coaches in our downline and be like, why aren't you hitting Success Club? Okay, if you show us that you have 2 Success Club points on the board, we're going to message you and be like, okay, let's do this. You got partway there. Let's get you to hit Success Club this month. What can we do? Let's get creative. What conversations could we start? Okay. We want to help the people who want to be helped. That's my motto of my business. I want to help the people who want help. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to make you feel like, oh, Andrea's messaging me. Is she going to ask me to one of her groups? That's not the vibe that I send out. So eventually you're going to need to fly the nest. We don't want you to leave this team page, but you need to create your own team page where you have your coaches in there, your little nest, your tribe of people who get you, who look to you as a leader, because one day those coaches are going to need to be leaders. And you need to set that example of being imperfect and being willing to try new things. Yeah. So if you have questions on that, please ask. But eventually you do need to lead your pack, your tribe. And then the last one, you guys. Embrace fear and discomfort. So everything in this job is uncomfortable for me. Okay. I am an extreme introvert. I have gotten to the point though where I now crave that uncomfortable feeling because I know that's where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens. That's where I learn something new so that I can implement it later. Being uncomfortable is like, it used to be terrifying, and now I kind of find it to be a little bit of a rush, because if you aren't uncomfortable, you're going to stay in that little bubble of your comfort zone and never change. And your life is going to look exactly the way it does 5 years from now. Does that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable? It makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, thinking that in 5 years, my life will be exactly where I am right now, that really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's not the type of person that I am. And I need you to understand that all of us have fears and doubts. You wouldn't be human if you didn't. You'd probably be a psychopath if you didn't have fears and doubts. Legit, a psychopath. So you need to understand that the more you face them right in the eye and you run at them, it's kind of like the story about when a storm comes, and there's a big field, and cows, they're not real bright, okay? If there's a storm coming, they will run away from the storm, which actually makes them in the storm longer because the storm is going the same direction they are, okay? But buffalo are a little bit brighter, and they run at the storm, which shortens the length of time that they're actually in the rain, okay? You have to run at your fear in order to get over it. I still get scared making my posts 2 years later, you guys. I have a really big demon on my shoulder, which is actually my neighbor across the street who talks about me behind my back about how dumb it is what I'm doing. So I think about that every time, and I just need to let it go. I do. I just need to let it go. But that is my biggest demon, is that people think what I'm doing is completely ridiculous. But I run at that fear, and it gets easier every time. Like, I used to get like all worked up and like sweaty and really uncomfortable before posting anything vulnerable. And now I can post it. It's, the thought is still there. It doesn't go away. Eventually I know it will, once I get like really sure of myself, but it's a process, and I'm learning, and all of you are. I know you're terrified to do stuff in this business, but if you really want to take it somewhere, you have to run at being uncomfortable. Like, literally run at it and punch it in the face, because you are going to get nowhere if you're constantly running away from it or doing nothing about it and just hiding in a ball. Okay. And if you aren't afraid of something, this will be my last point. If you aren't afraid of something, it means you probably need to shake your business up a little bit, and you probably need to write something that's vulnerable, that's on your heart. And yes, my neighbor does need a hobby. I'm looking at the comments. She needs lots of personal development. Oh, she's always made me feel about this big, even before I started Beachbody. So I know it's her issue. I know that, but it just makes me feel like everyone feels the same way she does, which is so dumb. Like, I know that's not true. If I'm helping 10 people a month, obviously I know that not everyone thinks I'm completely stupid. But you don't always think logically. Your head is kind of like, okay, if you haven't read You Are a Badass at Making Money, you need to, because she talks about your brain and your subconscious being like a 7-year-old spoiled prince who just throws fits and keeps you from doing what you really want to do. And that's kind of how my brain acts in those moments. Like, I know logically that not everyone thinks that way, but my head is like telling me like, no, everyone thinks you're really dumb. But anyway, you need to read Jen's new book. It is amazeballs. But that is all I have, you guys. I prefer to keep my team calls short. So hopefully, I like to keep them under 45 minutes. So hopefully that's okay. Are there any questions? Jamie, your fiance looks utterly bewildered. That's funny. You go help your screaming baby. Any questions for me? Anything that you're like, but how does she do that? What did she mean by that? Oh, you're welcome, you guys. I love this business, and I love that we're all together as one big happy family. And I can't freaking wait until our retreat. It's going to be so good. All right. Well, Alina and I will brainstorm what our next team call will be about. If you have things that you're like really dying to know about, let us know. Let me read this one. How long would you say it usually takes from the time you start a conversation to when you actually get to inviting? Okay, so I will be really honest with you and tell you that most of my conversations start in a free group, because I like to speed up the process of those conversations. So starting a random message with small talk is really awkward for me, and I'm working on that. So that is one thing that actually, when Alina and I started working together in January, she was way better at than me. So she's really good at the Hey Girl messages, and that's where I've learned all of those tricks from. But so my conversations start in a free group, which I can skip right to the inviting in that situation because I already know that they're interested. So I get like 70 to 90 people in my free groups each month. And I'd say about half of them are not customers, and half of them are my customers, which I love putting my lifers into my free groups when they ask to be added, because they keep the engagement and the environment up. Like, they know what my lifers, my long groups are like. And so they bring that energy to the free group, and I don't have to create all of that excitement myself. So to answer your question, I have no problem inviting somebody to a free group. Like, do you want to join me for 5 days to lose a couple of pounds by eating clean and drinking lots of water? Sure. Okay. Some people don't respond, but once they're in there, I know they're interested. So then throughout the week, I'm sending them little messages, thanking them for being involved, building that trust and relationship. And on the last day of my free group, this is a whole extra training, you guys, so maybe I shouldn't get into all of this, but on the last day of the training, I basically do a live video with a call to action of who wants to continue this on. And it's been really successful for me. I've been doing it the last couple of months, and I get probably 5 to 6 people to sign up from that live video. So I want to train all of you on that very soon. But if I was to just start a random message with somebody, it really depends on the person. If I know them in real life, I can kind of fill out the conversation and know when it would be appropriate to just see if they have any health and fitness goals. If I don't know them, I probably would start by just inviting them to one of my free groups after we've been talking for a while. Say, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but I have a free group where we're just going to hold each other accountable to eat healthy and drink lots of water. Would you want me to add you to that? I can. Let me know. Yeah, and I'll host one for everybody so you can see what it's like to be in one. And then you can steal all of my images and content and just run with it and do it yourself. Super easy. I used to do really intense, like, personal development free groups, which I will do again, but right now this is working so well for me because it gives them a small win. They lose 2 to 6 pounds. Legit, they're losing 2 to 6 pounds in my 5-day free group just from getting rid of the bloat and drinking lots of water and not eating processed foods. I mean, somebody who's used to eating fast food and like Doritos all day, switching to clean eating, they're going to shed weight like crazy right away. They get a lot of headaches, but their results are incredible. And it's just by holding them accountable and showing them that accountability is the missing link for them. But again, that's like I have so much to share on that strategy. So I wish I could answer your question better because I'm not very good at starting the random conversation and switching it over. Instagram is different. So I'm really going to start diving into Instagram because those people are also choosing to be interested by following you. So starting a conversation right away by, if they like a post or they're watching my story as I post stuff about my workouts, I'll be like, hey, I saw you watching my story. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? Keep it simple. Yeah, we're going to be diving in. Alina and I are going to be, this is another situation where I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to dive in and try stuff and learn along the way and probably fail a lot. Okay, but we will share everything that we learned. But you guys are your own CEOs too. So you dive in, try stuff. And if you learn something, share it on the team page. We're all leaders. All of us are leaders on this team. Any questions? My team kind of knows how I run. Not my team. We're not talking that way anymore. My downline knows how I run free groups because I've done a team-wide one with them a couple months ago, and it went really well. So we will do that as an entire downline. It'll be a massive free group, but it will be amazing because we will all be helping to keep it going. But I will kind of be the main leader so that you can just see what I do and pay attention to everything that I post in there. So I'm excited for that. Anything else? You're welcome. All right, well, if you do have questions, you can ask them in the team page. Alina, I totally agree. I'm feeling amazingly inspired, like way more than I ever have in my 2 years of working this, now that we're one team. Alina and I and Katie, I see Katie on here, will be at Summit. Is anyone else on the call going to be at Summit with us? Alina, do you know? Couple? So we will be, Emily will be, we will be sharing things from there. We will be going live on our team page and sharing takeaways. Katie and I actually signed up for an extra training on Thursday with Josh Coates and a couple of the leaders in the network. It's a 4-hour workshop. I can't remember what it's called. Katie, do you remember what it's called? I could probably look it up, but it's going to be amazing. So we signed up for that. That's outside of Summit, but it's in New Orleans. So we will be taking lots of notes, and Katie and I can go live and share our takeaways from that. So it's going to be awesome. You guys have to be at Summit next year. We are going to get a huge freaking house and just fill it up with everybody. We have a house this year. I did book one, but it's only got 6 girls in it. So it'll be a cute little condo for us. All right, well, we will sign off. And if you have questions, like I said, post them on the team page. Alina will post this recording in there. And you guys have a good night and hustle hard. We still have a couple days left in the month. So anybody can hit Success Club. All right, we'll see you guys later.